agents have. In other words, when you go through this process today and see what we have and how you're going to apply it, you're going to be ahead of 98 to 99% of all the other agents in the country. Okay. So current trend number one, here it is. Very successful agents. Chris was talking about this earlier, Chris Trombley, very successful mortgage officers. They don't set goals anymore. Ooh, a few people saying, what? What? They don't set goals? No, what they do is make promises. And there's a big difference between setting a goal and making a promise. Can anybody feel that, by the way, when I use the word promise versus the word goal? What does the word promise feel like?
It's a little scary.
It sounds scary. And why does it sound scary? This is an important point.
Because you don't know, yeah, it's kind of scary to know, the outcome could crash, and then your promise is broken.
Oh, here we go, right? Because we've been taught since we were this tall, right? Never make a promise we don't intend to keep. A promise is a promise. We've been taught that over and over and over again, and that's in our unconscious. That's been there for many, many years. So we don't want to break promises. However, it can be scary to set them. Because once we set them, guess what? We're now committed to them. However, one of the most important trends of the top producing agents in this country is that they set promises rather than setting goals. If you can put yourself in the position of setting promises and making promises rather than setting goals, you will far succeed or out-succeed everybody else in this business. Here's a true statistics now, because we're talking about trends and numbers. Less than 15% of people who set goals ever accomplish them. Wow. There's even a more telling number. Over 90% of people who make promises will fulfill them. Wow. 600%, right? 6 times greater. So, if you can put yourself in the position, if you can train yourself, or even just learn some basic techniques on how to make a promise, you will far exceed what everybody else is doing in this business. If you have goals written down right now, and you have them in writing, I would just urge you to go to those goals and just cross off the words, my goal is, or my goals are, and write down, I promise to. I promise to. Those of you who are in the 30% category, you'll do that.
Now you're making this promise to yourself.
Sure, you're making this promise to yourself. Making this promise to yourself. However, we do urge you in certain circumstances to share the promise with other people. If other people are involved, then they're going to be involved.
I mean, if you promise a client you're going to get them a mortgage through and you don't, I mean, I don't think I can know that.
Well, no, but most of these promises are. Well, I'll read you one. How's that? How's this? This is a promise of mine that's been fulfilled. So it's been rewritten, but I like the way this is written. It says, "I promise to vigorously exercise 5 times per week and maintain my weight between 185 and 190 pounds, or something better, on or before September 30th, 2009. So this was last year. Right? As a result, I maintain a 35-inch waist and my blood pressure at 120/80 or better. I am happy with the way I look in my clothes and I feel good about myself." Okay. That's a promise. And I've shared this promise at virtually every speaking engagement I've done for the past year and a half. Now, this promise is intimate, it's important to me. However, sharing that promise with about 8,000 to 10,000 people over the past year, when I drive home at night and I don't feel like stopping at the gym, what do I typically do? I stop at the gym. Because I've made this promise, both to myself and I've shared it publicly also. So promises are much more powerful than goals.